The goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
good enough for rapping.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band show.
and listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band.
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
But this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar.
Tonight, we have the No Planet B Pre-Jam, giving you all the details you need for the Jamboree this weekend, including guests and special music.
Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be
Your next favorite band.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese.
Hello, everyone, and I'm your co-host, David Moore.
And you are listening to...
Your next favorite band.
And we are bringing you the No Planet B Pre-Jam tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta build up to the jam, right? Like, I mean, it's getting ready for like a festival, right? Like, you gotta like pre-fest. I mean, I don't know, it's
Absolutely.
like tailgating, right? Like, I mean, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And, there's obviously some benefit here that it is our second annual. So there are some things that, people will be, hopefully familiar with from last year. But also there's lots of new format here because last year we tried to put all of this into the one day.
Yeah.
And we kind of didn't exactly maximize the opportunity. So what we learned was keep the live stream stuff on the live stream and promote the live in-person stuff.
Yeah.
And use that as the pre-show.
I think it took us, 3 events to figure that out?
Listen, I think you were telling me that from the beginning, and I was stubborn.
Well, I think it was a lot of, you want to run a cable to where? Was a lot of those kind of questions.
But also, in retrospect, it's amazing that everything got, like, the tech worked.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
the
can take
concept that didn't
responsibility
work.
for what part is mine.
So all the tech worked. Really what it was the, for the people tuning in like you are tonight, when we were playing live music, it just seemed like it wasn't as obviously the production value kind of isn't as quality as if it's directly in the stream, and vice versa. When we were on the stream focused on people who were either virtual guests or playing music, then the in-person audience kind of started to do their own thing. So we said, let's keep these separate. And, it's going to be, a terrific way to kind of present the content in that way.
I was going to say one heck of a good time, but I mean, yours sounds more thought out.
Except that long pregnant pause that I had in the middle there where I was collecting my thoughts. But
Yeah, it's okay. We got there.
We did. Luckily, we got there. But let's first dedicate some time to answer some questions about kind of like how Sunday is going to work. It's in Bethlehem. It's at the Courtyard of the Sun Inn.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. There's probably a couple Bethlehems out there in the universe.
Not the one that's in the Middle East.
No, and there's definitely some others in the country as well. But
There are,
yes,
yes.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Courtyard of the Sun Inn. 2:00 is when things start.
Eastern time.
Eastern time, correct? If it's Pennsylvania, you would hope that would be the case, but certainly
Point taken.
yes. And then the nice parts about it is there's 3 bands, and they're kind of spread out so that there's also 7 tabling organizations. So that gives people a chance to enjoy the music, talk to the orgs, and we're going to announce those now. As you already know, we have announced the music, which we are so pumped for, that we think that this is such an amazing lineup. You've got Galen Deary and The Reason Why, formerly known as Mystic Fool. So if you know the name Mystic Fool, that is what this band is, but they've got brand new music coming out. So they're going to play a lot of the new stuff and then some of the stuff that you are familiar with if you are familiar with Mystic Fool. Clover, who was on our show back in November, I believe.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So we met her through Music Fest back last August and loved her music and amazing story. We had a great interview with her back last November. And then Mustafa Numbisi, who was basically our most recent guest. He was on last week.
That's correct. Yeah.
So obviously, and Galen came on during Music Fest. So one of the daily live streams. So if you look at the highlights of the daily live streams, there's a nice interview with him while at Godfrey Daniels during the daily live streams from Music Fest, and he plays a song, and it's pretty awesome. Clover plays 2 songs in hers. Mustafa plays 1 in his. So it's so cool to get those like acoustic renditions of songs. And then when you come down on Sunday, you're going to get the full band version of things. They're all in their full 3, 4, 5 piece bands, and it's going to be a pretty awesome day. By the way, I don't know if we mentioned this yet. It's free.
It is free, and we are just only asking that if you can to register, just so we can keep the fire chief informed of the somewhere between 50 and 8,000 number that we had to account for.
Right. We might spill out into the alleyway. But yeah, and so the Sun Inn, one of the sponsors of the day, is the courtyard that we're in, and they will have their food truck set up. They will have a bar set up, so food and beverage is available. The Sun Inn, the structure that's right there, that's their restaurant, will be open to use the restrooms. It won't be open for business, but they wanted to keep that open for the guests who will be in attendance. I guess it's also important to mention our encouragement would be for people to bring a reusable mug, something that could be reused for beverages, including the alcoholic ones. We confirmed with them that would be okay with them, that if people wanted to use that. So again, in the theme of the day of trying to keep one-time plastics and trash at a minimum, if you want to bring in, of course, we have our famous Bethlehem Festival of Music Fest. Your Music Fest mugs are welcome.
That's what I was just going to say. We might have a festival that run in Bethlehem that would support the "Do you have a mug?" question.
Yes, that's right. And so reusable vessels to put liquids in are encouraged, and they have a way to make sure that they're complying with any of the state laws around that and still use your vessel. So that's an encouragement there. And also it would be family friendly, all ages. Even I've seen dogs come to this because it's an outdoor space. So, basically, all the reasons in the world to come down. And even weather's complying. It's not going to rain. I checked with Bobby Martrich. He confirmed no rain on Sunday. Might be a little chilly. But we can take chili and no rain is a home run for us. So
bring a jacket. It'll be a good time.
News. Yeah. I mentioned tabling organizations. These are the 6 of them. We're going to get to the last one in a second because that's our first guest of the night. But you can see here, these are a mix of, we'll call them green organizations, things that they do, either products they provide or services they provide. Would be in a way of making things more green, or you making more sustainable, more renewable, or what have you. And then 2 are dedicated to mental health. We'll get to those in a second, but wanted to touch on some of these. David, do you want to share some details on some of these?
Sure. Positive, the Tree of Life is a nonprofit organization bringing people together through culture, community, and conservation. And their mission is to support the indigenous people of Turtle Island in reclaiming ancestral knowledge and bring forth this wisdom in a world in need of reunification.
Yeah, and I'll ask you to pause there. Also, so the leader of that organization, his name is Delwyn Elk Bear Fiddler. And in addition to being present as a table, so you can learn more about the organization, he is going to open things up basically after we welcome people at 2. He's going to do a Native American song and dance blessing for the day, and basically kind of say thank you to Mother Earth and all that kind of stuff, which I just can't wait to see that. It's just going to be incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, talk about a great way to get things started.
Exactly. So anyway, so don't be late. That is going to be quite the treat. In addition to all the other performers, that one's going to be extra special as well. Bethlehem Food Co-op.
The Bethlehem Food Co-op, it will operate and open the Bethlehem Co-op Market, a community-driven, mission-driven, full-service grocery store open to all shoppers. And the store will focus on fresh food and typical grocery items sourced as locally as possible, but also affordable, high quality, and healthful.
Yeah, and they're soon to be opening up, and it's going to be right down the street on Broad Street in downtown Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Very excited for that.
Yeah, brand new building. It looks like it's going to be fantastic.
For sure. And the more local you can be, the better. They can share more of those details that day. East Spruce Design Build.
East Spruce Design Build strive to simplify the complex design and construction process through project planning, resourceful design, and implementation. Also strive to do it in a way that is friendly to the planet and its inhabitants.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I just think that's such a cool one to have there. And then let's jump to the Running Kind.
Sure. The Running Kind is an environmentally sustainable company dedicated to moving the sport of running to zero carbon. They host zero carbon racing events and provide easy access to resources for runners to learn about the environment impact that they each have as individuals and as runners.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a cool organization. I was able to meet kind of the lead of it. Her name is Amy, and just connected with her a little too late. But the thought already was maybe for the third annual to do like a 5K on the morning of that ends in the courtyard.
That's a great idea.
So, stay tuned for that. It could be a very cool thing to add for next year. And I did want to mention one more thing. I was able to meet some of these people through, we have a very cool, actually right near where that Bethlehem Food Co-op is going in Broad Street, kind of in that East Bethlehem area. It's a store called Verde. And it is a shop that sells nothing but products that are, all basically, green, I guess you might say. And it could be soaps, cleaning products, laundry detergent, or even like repurposed furniture, all sorts of stuff that's very much in that Verde kind of mentality. And she was the one that kind of put me in touch with some of these other people. So she can't be there to table that day, but Shauna is a wonderful shop owner, and I recommend you check out her shop as well. And it's a very, very cool thing that we have here in downtown Bethlehem to offer. And then so real quick, lastly, off of Listen to the Dissonance, which was our mental health event back in February, we just basically realized that there's no one perfect time for somebody to maybe ask for help. And so we thought, let's at all of our events have tables that include, people who can provide those services or that information. So both NAMI, Lehigh Valley, and Resilient Lehigh Valley, which is part of the United Way, will both be there as well, so that you can learn more information about them. But David, anything to share about those?
Resilient Lehigh Valley is in partnership with the United Way, as you just mentioned, is a cross-sector collective impact effort dedicated to increasing youth resiliency through creating a trauma-informed and resilient community. And then NAMI is dedicated to improving the quality of life for people with mental illness and their families through support, education, and advocacy.
Excellent. Yeah. And NAMI stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. That's going to be all the tabling organizations that are there for us to kind of engage with, learn more about. And then there is a seventh one, and that is the big sponsor we have. So in addition to the Tavern at the Sun Inn, the other sponsor we have for this event is the Energy Co-op. And so thankful to both of these organizations because they've actually been a sponsor 2 years. They were there for our inaugural event last year, and then they are here again. And joining us tonight is the executive director of the Energy Co-op. So we are truly honored to welcome Divya Desai. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Philip. Thanks, David, for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so excited to have you.
I'm having technical issues with my headphones. Would it be okay if I took them off?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
We are just so excited to have you a part of things. In addition to supporting these musicians and these organizations and the message that's going out there, we love the idea that people can become more aware of the two aspects that I'm most excited about is having them become more aware of the importance of the fully renewable energy supply but more importantly, how easy it is to switch if you want to.
Yeah.
So I figured you might want to speak to some of that. I do have your website here that I can bring up to help kind of illustrate some things as well. So I will do that while you're chatting.
Excellent. Would it be helpful to go into a little bit of background and just talk a little bit about what we do first?
Please do, yeah. Because this is important for people to know. Like, you're based here. You're basically supporting that kind of like southeastern, or if not eastern, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's right. It is southeastern Pennsylvania. So the Energy Co-op was founded a little over 45 years ago. And we were actually founded by a group of Weaver's Way cooperative members. So if you're familiar with food co-ops,
Yep.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania are pretty well versed in food co-ops. So Weaver's Way founding members of Weaver's Way founded the Energy Co-op. We started initially as a heating oil cooperative in the 70s during the oil embargo as a way to offer Pennsylvania residents reliably affordable home heating oil. It was a true cooperative model. Since then, we've evolved to tackle renewable energy. So we entered the renewable energy space in the 90s to offer. We were one of the first organizations to offer 100% renewable energy to homes and businesses, and have since piloted our renewable natural gas program. So we offer homes and businesses a way to get renewable energy directly to their homes without having to do things like install solar panels, which are excellent, but can require some investment.
Right. No, you're absolutely right about that, because I think that's what maybe kind of hesitates some people is the cost and the impact, and maybe even is there room on their roof or whatever. So this is a way to still do that, and you don't have to actually have the install.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So that, I'll talk a little bit about how you can become a member, but I guess a little bit on, who we serve in general. So we are a Pennsylvania licensed retail supplier. So we operate in the state of Pennsylvania. And if you have a utility bill, you can become an Energy Co-op member. And that means households, even if you rent an apartment, if you own a business, if you own industrial, we have the ability to serve a pretty wide array of energy consumers. And so I can go through, how you can sign up and how easy it is to become a member. Do you want me to go through the enrollment process?
I guess let's even just I have it up here now on the screen. Okay. I've gone through it myself. It's basically just a couple of questions, and you're basically just, agreeing that it is okay with you, and then it just kind of happens somewhat on its own. Like whether it's PPL or Pico or whomever, it switches. And then it's showing up on your bill every month. You could switch back if you wanted to. There's no commitment or anything. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We don't lock our residential consumers into our residential members into anything. So you can. It is really as simple as filling out the form, our enrollment form, and if you get a utility bill, you continue to get that utility bill, and the Energy Co-op will show up as the generation supply.
Yeah, I guess the thing I would want people to just simply understand is to not be nervous about it, to feel good about it.
Right.
And to ask more questions that day, or to reach out to you tomorrow, send you an email, reach out by phone, to just confirm it is as easy as it is. And if if you can try it for 3 months and switch back if you don't love it, but it doesn't change anything in your home. It's my lights didn't get any dimmer, there's no impact. And I think the other thing that I want to share, because this is always my kind of take on things, which is a little bit, more, I guess, what I always try and tell people is, if you go about something saying, I just want the cheapest price, you might get something that is destructive. Mm-hmm. But if you go about something that is important as, how are we treating the planet or our air or our bodies, then you're going to say, let me go get the right product. And then I figure out how much does that cost.
Yeah.
Easy to say that, but it's still the right thing. You're not going to sit there and say, oh, just give me the cheapest price if you realize you're destroying something. And so that's the other thing you kind of have to acknowledge here is, you need to get the lowest price you can that's fully renewable. That's the way I guess I would go about it, is still price and shop and go around. There's other, places that you can go to. But this one is such a good one because it's also a cooperative. This is a place where we're all working together to try and make this as good and affordable as it can be.
Yeah, you bring up so many great points. I think on the, on the consumer on the transparency front, I think such an important piece of what we do and why we do what we do is we feel that there is quite a bit of there's a lack of transparency in the space, particularly for regular consumers. The typical energy consumer is not well versed in the energy space and does not understand all the actors and all the bad practices that can be there, but there are also a lot of good practices. And I think one of the things that we really care about is helping consumers understand their energy choices and help them understand how to think about transparency and good practice versus misleading practices. And I think the price piece is really such an important one because renewable energy is expensive for consumers. The unfortunate thing, and we do so much education around all of this, and so I'm going to at a later point in this few minutes going to encourage everyone to visit our website for educational
Agreed.
purposes.
You do a great job at that. It's something that was, especially through COVID, where you're like, well, what else am I going to do? I might as well learn it. So you drop on, you either like you have pre-recorded stuff or you have live like webinars to join and stuff. It's very cool, all the work you guys do.
Yeah, you're doing all the selling for us. But this idea that renewable energy is so expensive at the retail, for the consumers is so challenging to talk about, because if you look at how much it costs to actually generate, renewables are the cheapest.
Right.
And so then you have to, the market factors are really what end up causing renewable energy to be expensive. And that's frustrating for us as much as it is for consumers, because renewable energy is so important for clean energy future. So.
Yeah, and I think too, there's renewable kind of has in it like wind is always going to happen, sun is always going to happen if we treat this stuff right. Whereas other stuff is going to run out one day. So this is a way better way to you can keep it going, and if you dedicate your research and your efforts into making it better, more efficient, finding new other ways to do it, like all this other cool stuff, like it's just going to get better over time in a renewable way that's not going to destroy everything. I mean, that's how I always just look at it that way. It's like, it seems like an easy decision, but I guess it's not for everybody.
Totally. But, to your point, particularly for organizations or companies that are doing things the right way, you can switch. And if it's not working for you, you can leave. And, I think that's one thing that we really care about, that if you're choosing the energy co-op, you should be able to leave if it's not working for your lifestyle.
Correct. Yep.
But we're here and we're doing the work, and we'll continue to do the work. And if you want to come back, you can come back too.
Yeah. And you will have 3 different people, if I understand it right, down at the event.
That's right.
So there's 4?
I think it's 3 people.
Oh, 3. Okay.
So it'll be our membership team, Lauren and Eric, and our marketing manager, Colin.
Yes. And they've all been wonderful to work with, and they're great people to go and kind of just ask some questions if you're curious. If you're kind of hesitant at all, just go ask the questions you need asked, answered, and go. You could sign up that day or take the information away and do it a little bit down the road. But this is something that I think is huge. There's even other things that could come up down the road where it could be renewable natural gas and other stuff that could become available as well. That's available in other territories, not in ours, if I understand it right. But lots of cool things to come. Again, the best way to make all those other options happen is the more the enrollment happens, because then we have more ability to make it a reality. So, Divya, thank you so much for joining today. It's so exciting to be connected, over this event. Happy Earth Month. I keep trying to say month instead of day, because let's make it the whole month. Eventually, I'm hoping to make it, Earth Decade. But we'll start with moving from day to month, and we'll move it up a notch from there. But thank you so much for joining today, and please, everybody, check out the Energy Co-op and stop on down. If you're not local and you're not going to be at the event on Sunday, just reach out to them, and you can learn more, from the Energy Co-op.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. David.
Philip.
Energy Co-op doing great things.
Yeah, I mean, they're sponsoring our Empire Strikes Back episode, so this is our the second time they've sponsored our event, which is great, because they're a perfect match for what we're trying to do.
100%.
Combined with being good people. Like, this is it's not just like a cold, faceless, nobodies. I mean, they've been really warm and generous with both their outreach and their support
and their time. Yeah, I mean, like, it's been great. Like, even when I was just simply a member. Like any question I ever had, anything we ever did together, like it was always just accessible and information and understanding that it might take some time, and also wanting, to know what made the difference, like when you made that conversion, because they wanted to know how to tap into that more to kind of maybe reach some other people in a very genuine way. They don't want to just convert people for conversion's sake.
It's not like conquistadors. I feel like there's some sort of like.
No, I was thinking more like the boiler room where you're just calling people, like,
Oh yeah,
they buy penny stocks.
Yeah,
that's not what this is. But what do they always say to me, David? They always say, "Get to the music."
Phil, get to the music.
So let's get to some music. So this is honestly, we have I think it's 4 different songs that we have. They're all dedicated to, basically like a need to take action for the earth kind of thing, celebrating the earth. This one was really special because it had such a long kind of fuse to it. Basically, the Slambovian Circus of Dreams played at Music Fest. I knew they had this song that I love so much. It's called Beez. And I wanted to record it for today and got it. So then I asked them for permission. And then the other thing that I noticed, though, was I didn't have the opening. He tells this hilarious story of how he wrote the song. And I only captured the song. And I was like, man, I should have got the whole thing. So then I asked, I was like, would you send us like the inspo, like the backstory of the song? And they did. And so basically I took his intro and I kind of edited it together with the song. And it is wonderful. And I can't thank Tink Lloyd, and Josiah enough from Slambovian Circus of Dreams. If you've never heard any music from this band, I think you're going to love it. But here's Josiah to intro his song, and then you'll hear the song Beez.
Hey, this is Josiah from the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. Thanks for having us on your next favorite band and letting us be part of this No Planet B Jamboree. We're always very happy to work with Pennsylvania, which is my beloved mother state. And we were happy to play at the Bethlehem Festival and do this next song that you're about to hear, which is called Beez. We wrote it after getting entangled with Pete Seeger and his old environmentally conscious gang that he lived about 10 minutes up the road from where we are on the Hudson River. And we started doing benefits with Pete, and we became very environmentally conscious right at the time when the bee colonies started collapsing. And I started having nightmares about the bee colonies collapsing and wondering, is there anything we could do? Because if the bee colonies collapse, then there's no more food. So I was really like praying about it and dreaming about it and freaking out about it. I'm wondering if there was some idea I could get that could change the situation for the bees. And I had a dream that if I didn't mow the lawn, it might help the bees. Now, I'm from Philadelphia. I don't know anything about bees or grass or anything like that from where I live. But when we didn't mow the lawn that summer, and the grass got about this high in my yard, all of a sudden there were like hundreds of bees in my yard, bees and butterflies everywhere. And I thought, oh my God, we solved it. I've got to write a song about this. So I started writing this song called I Know Where the Bees Have Gone. They've all come to my yard because I stopped cutting the grass. So I started writing this song, I was really excited about it, and I got stuck on the chorus. And the ghost of John Lennon appeared in the beach chair next to me, and he said, I'll help you write that chorus, And John helped me write the chorus. We worked on it for about 5-10 minutes, and we got it pretty quick. And all of a sudden, when we started playing the chorus, all the bees in the yard just stopped buzzing, and they sent this little squadron of about 8 bees to hover right in front of the face of me and the ghost of John Lennon. And they picked one to speak to us, and that bee said, the bees are so inspired that you have written this song to try to help us, that they're going to reveal a secret to you that no one has known for thousands of years. And that is, said the bee, when you meditate, instead of saying Om or one of those kind of mantra sounds, if you say, it's a beeline to enlightenment. You could try that at home, and you'll see that it's absolutely true. You'll never have to take drugs again in your life or anything. It just totally aligns your body. So we're going to play the song for you now at the Bethlehem Music Festival. You'll see us doing it in about a couple seconds. It's called I Know Where the Bees Have Gone.
Being so hard, stop trying to control the world, learn to steer myself. Now the bees and butterflies became a source of wealth. Making honey butter now, they ship across the sea. They're breaking in a lot of dough and they share it all. Teaching me the facts of life, and as I get it right, my lovely wife is calling me most every day and night. I'm making honey butter now, enough to feed us all. They dose it with enlightenment for creatures great and small. Bees are gone.
Nice singing.
So there is the Slambovian Circus of Dreams.
Yep, there they are. And all of their, the term I've heard them described as is hillbilly Pink Floyd from time to time. So
that's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not the worst thing you could have attached to you.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I love that song, and I think it was performed incredibly well, and was so special that they let us use it and provided that very, very awesome intro. I just think that's so funny.
Yeah, that's
such a great job.
It's such a great story. I mean, completely accurate. I mean, there's no anything about that makes me.
Yeah, no embellishment, no tall tales, nothing.
No notes.
Anyway, let's get to our next guest, who helps people put on green festivals or tours. And tonight we have Paige Roth, who joined us last year from reverb.org. Welcome to the show, Paige.
Thank you so much. How are you both?
We're doing great.
We're doing great. Thanks, Paige, for joining us.
And still in Portland, Maine?
Still in Portland, Maine. Absolutely. I think Slambovian, forgive me, what is the band name?
Slambovian Circus of Dreams.
They might be my new next favorite band.
We did it.
That was incredible.
Our goal is
mission
like
accomplished.
Yeah, no, it's they are a special treat, a great band, and we did have the pleasure. Same thing, like one of our performers on next Sunday. They joined during the music fest. That was where that recording was earlier that day. They stopped by Godfrey Daniels and spent some time with us. And what a very, very cool story! Like, they just wanted to avoid getting signed. They've been independent their whole career. And that was why they came up with their name, because they figured no record label would ever sign anybody called the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. They're probably right about that. But great music. Their whole catalog is excellent.
I love it. I'm going to deep dive.
Nice.
After we wrap up. Yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool. And they were actually, believe this, they were the first band to play, or even maybe the first people, basically right after the United States helped China open to the Western world. Basically, like within a month, they were over there performing for the Chinese public for the first time in decades. So they've got a very, very cool story behind them, in addition to their great music.
Wild. Obsessed. Can't wait.
Yeah. And so it's a pretty cool transition, too, to talk about. So we talked about this last year, but it's important to point out our Music Fest festival here in Bethlehem has been doing a very green thing, maybe without even really realizing it. 40 years of a reusable mug, reducing their trash footprint by, I gotta think, tons and tons.
Absolutely.
Especially being 10 days long. It's been a 10-day festival for forever. So like how much people love and cherish the mug and bring down different ones every day, to be able to be reusing that has really saved on a lot of trash.
They should crunch that data. Figure it out.
I think they really should. They should hire you to help them with that. But anyway, that is what you do. Like reverb.org is an organization that helps either festivals or tours and many other things. But like these are kind of the big two that I wanted to point out. Was either a festival could reach out to you, or a band could reach out to you who's about to do a tour and say, how do we minimize this? How do we reduce our impact, since we have to travel to do the music? So anyway, anything you want to share about Reverb? Anything I have here? The one thing you wanted me to bring up there that was like that decarbonization thing.
Yeah. Yes. So
wait, before you start, you have this kick-ass like 1 minute preview of your organization. I wanted to play that. Yeah. So let's bring that in, and then off of that is when we'll bring up the website. see there, the Music Climate Revolution, reverb.org. And let's bring up the site now so you can chat about that. The amazing thing about it is just how much you're helping here. I memean, and you're getting artists to obviously want to proactively be involved. And I think that's super cool as well.
We are. This is 2024 is a big year for Reverb. This is our 20th year.
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations.
Yes, we became a nonprofit in 2004. As you mentioned, we're based in Portland, Maine, and we're founded by Lauren Sullivan, who's an environmentalist, and her husband, Adam Gardner, who is the lead guitarist and vocalist for a band called Guster.
Yep.
So we've grown a lot in the last 20 years and excited to celebrate this summer. Anyone who was listening to this podcast last Earth Month, I talked a lot about Reverb and the work that we do. And as you mentioned, we partner with musicians, music tours, festivals, venues to work with them to put programs in place to reduce their environmental impact. And we also use music as a platform to do environmental outreach and education through what we call our Action Village, which travels with tours and is set up at concerts.
Sure.
And gives a platform to other environmental and social nonprofits, brings out volunteers to do all kinds of things like get petitions signed and incentivizes everything. So it's lots of fun. We always have prizes and games happening, and it's all made possible by volunteers. So we saw the video about the Music Climate Revolution, and an offshoot of that is now our music decarbonization project, which involves putting things in place to literally reduce the carbon impact, right there on site. So we are partnering with bands and festivals and a company called Overdrive to put up solar arrays and power stages with solar power instead of diesel generators. So that's been kind of a cool update since we last spoke.
Yeah, I think this is the stuff too, where it's almost like before you were on, we were talking with the Energy Co-op, which is where you can choose to have your energy supply provided by renewables. And it's like that decision around cost. So will it cost more? Yes. But is it the right thing to do? Yes. So like you can do it. So like same thing for a festival or a tour, like, is it the right thing to do is the first question to ask, and then talk about how do we minimize the cost, not necessarily how do I do it all cheaper and do it in a way that's
agreed.
I'll say irresponsible. I don't think that's a word you would use, but I think that's the thing is like once you make that decision to do it the right way, then you're in a whole different headspace on how to then manage what it would run.
Agreed. And the more examples of the success of a project like
Absolutely.
this, the more mainstream it becomes, and then the costs are driven down. Same thing with the energy provider. So the more folks on board, the more accessible it will become.
Yeah, so I wanted to switch to this tab because obviously our show in particular brings on more of your smaller, more DIY artist, not exactly doing a tour at the level of which those artists who are listed, which again, amazing that they're doing that because they're setting a trend, they're leading by example, and it's very important to do that because like you said too, if it's done at the large level, they can figure out a way to do it at the smaller level. But without reaching out, there's ways that these musicians, and then we'll even get to the concert goers, there's ways that you have resources available to give them ideas on what to do.
We do. It's very true in that we partner with pretty major musicians and music tours, festivals. So Billie Eilish, Dave Matthews Band, the Lumineers, the 1975. But as you said, we hear from bands all the time who are touring maybe in a van or a support act and care about the environment and activism and want to know what to do. So part of our Music Climate Revolution involves adding resources to our website that are free and available to anyone who can find them, with things like places to source sustainable merch items and information on reusables and water sources. So
I think the food aspect is overlooked. Like I think sourcing that stuff more locally and how you would package it in ways that might be less trash. And then again, the renewable, you
Yeah.
know, either water or beer or whatever, like being able to reuse instead of having one-time plastics. Those are some of the, I would say, almost easier and almost overthought parts of a festival or a tour that are going to be very easy, not easy, but like factor that in and suddenly you're making a much less impact.
It's true. We have part of the resources include a green rider or a sustainability rider, so that if a band is playing a show and they're sending along their
Sure.
rider and there needs to play
That's a
the
huge one.
show, this
Yeah.
is something that people can edit and include. Something like, we'd prefer not to have at the very least beef in catering, which reduces the environmental impact. We work with tours
Certainly.
who are working to get vegan options front of house. There are just
Yep.
really lots of small things that you can do by working with the venues to reduce the impact.
Yep.
We're trying to make that available to anyone.
Yeah, and actually, I should even point out, like, so Clover is one of the musicians that are playing with us on Sunday, and she does go about things with her T-shirts to try and basically go to a shop that has discounted T-shirts that she can then purchase, like that are like reusable, like stuff like that, where she can make T-shirts not from a vendor, but necessarily like kind of like a way that's a little bit more of that kind of like reduce, reuse, recycle type stuff.
Exactly. It's all about.
And then you have a one of a kind
using-
piece. Like,
Well, that's the other side of it. Yeah, what a unique, item to have from an artist.
right.
Yes. Yeah, it's all about using materials that already exist instead of creating new ones.
Yeah. This is a little bit different topic, but I thought maybe I would ask it. I got to think that vinyl pressing is not the most earth-friendly process. Is there a way to maybe make that? Is there anything being worked on there?
There is. That's a very hot topic right now. We were actually just featured in Billboard talking about Billie
Nice.
Eilish's next album and the work that they're doing to look at making vinyl out of exactly that, recycled vinyl, finding ways to package it differently so that it's not wrapped in plastic.
Yep. I'll never forget when CDs first came out and they had that obnoxious box
Oh my
because
gosh.
it
I
was they
remember
wanted
those.
to take the vinyl things and just put
a divider in. Yeah.
It's like how dumb could you? Anyway, it was.
I would think vinyl's really interesting. I know I collect records, and it's just
for
something
sure.
that you
I have
hold
a
on to
collection
for a
building right
long
there.
time, right?
Mhm.
It's like artwork. So
Totally.
it's cool to see people going back to vinyl in a way because they'll keep it with them forever.
Yeah, for sure. I guess so. Lastly, and again, sorry we have to cut things so short, but empower us, the concert goer, the vinyl buyer. Like, how can we maybe be a little bit more outspoken, saying we are insisting that it become more that way?
I think that fans have so much power because they are really the driving force of the music industry. They're the folks who are purchasing music. They're the folks who are buying tickets, and artists and venues can't do what they do without the fans. So I think communicating, we have access to social media now. It's so important. It's so easy to have this kind of discourse. So make sure the artist that you're a fan of is aware that this is something that's important to you. Same thing with, your local venue or a festival that you're attending.
Yep. And then the other
Make
two
them
things
aware
are
of your priority.
absolutely right. The awareness is huge. Volunteering is like, so also be part of that solution. You could also say to that festival or to that venue, hey, I'm willing to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
And then lastly, if you don't have that time in your life, but you do have funds, you could always donate to reverb.org.
That is true.
And help all the work that you're doing.
Yeah. We, one of the great things about being a nonprofit organization is that all of our funding goes right back into our programming. So whether it's Reverb or another nonprofit doing important work, can always use the funding and the volunteer hours.
Yes, absolutely. So again, Paige, thank you so much for all the work that Reverb does, for all the work that you do personally, and for coming on the show today to share it all. People check out reverb.org and follow them on social media. And like we said, insist on this as you are, voting with your dollars.
I agree. Thank you so much for having me. Maybe I'll see you next Earth Month 2025.
I would love that. We got to get Reverb here for the No Planet B Jamboree.
Yes, we do. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. All right. Take care.
Thanks.
David?
Philip.
We just keep bringing on exceptional human beings and organizations.
Well, I mean, look, it's it's awesome. I mean, I'm happy that everyone wants to be involved. I'm happy that people are excited, and I'm happy that they keep saying yes.
Yeah. I think Reverb is a very special organization. One of those ones that I think would be, again, like if you come down to the event on Sunday and it brings you joy, we just would ask, whatever that was worth to you, what would you have paid for a ticket and donate it to Reverb?
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to look at it. I mean that they're a perfect fit for where your dollars have direct benefit. Yep. And they do work with the biggest artists, and they work at the smallest levels.
They do try to get exactly.
They really do try and reach up and down the entire scale for all artists to try and give them an opportunity to be more sustainable and less impactful and decarbonize.
100%. So we are going to get back to the music again. We have a great track here from someone we recently interviewed. Easy Honey was a guest of ours just about a month ago. They're from Charleston, South Carolina, and they just released a song within the last week called Grass Getting Greener. How perfect could that be? So they gave us an exclusive acoustic rendition of it here, which is very, very cool. So here is Grass Getting Greener by Easy Honey.
Hey there. Hey, we're Easy Honey. We're going to be performing our song Grass Getting Greener for No Planet B. Thank you guys for inviting us to play a song. This song is about optimism, and specifically something we care about is Mother Earth and keeping Mother Earth healthy.
Yeah, we've done a number of environmental cleanups last summer on our surf tour, and it's something near and dear to our hearts. So to be able to participate with it, Planet B is very exciting. So we're excited to be here.
Ready? Shall we? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
She watches romance movies.
What's up, Ray? How you doing? Here we go again.
She watches romance movies and turns it off before the end. She's got laundry on the floor, her lamplight, it's golden. The sticker on a carton for memento never really sticks. Chess with the highway. It's trash, but it's scenic. His records hold him like the ocean holds water. He has disdain with platitude, like Mary moreover. Everybody wants the truth, but nobody looks at you. I hear her breathing when the wind's blowing through. I smell her ethos like rain in the morning residue. I fight this feeling of fever. The grass gets greener, yeah. She picks out all the hit songs, good hook in a chorus. He only likes B-sides, the ones with no chorus. I lay down beside the water to be with you. Quite humbly perfect repetition, repetition, repetition.
competition. Everybody wants the truth, but nobody looks at you. I hear her breathing when the wind's blowing through. I smell her ethos like rain in the morning residue. I fight this feeling of fever, the grass getting greener, the grass getting greener. Thanks again, No Planet B. See you next time.
There's Easy Honey with Grass Getting Greener.
Special call out to Ray.
That's I loved that part. And
it's amazing.
they were sending that over, and they were just like wanting to get it over to me because they, obviously deadlines and whatnot. And I was like, hey, that part is hilarious. I can edit it out if you want. I was like, because you started again. I was like, I could probably make it pretty seamless. And they were like, we'd love to leave it in if you're okay with it. I'm like, oh, we're definitely leaving it in.
Yes.
It's dynamite. I thought that was amazing. Thank you so much to Easy Honey for giving us that. How great did that sound? Even just out in a field somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, Ray didn't mess the sound up or anything.
No, Ray was good. But yeah, I thought that was fantastic. Wanted to take a quick moment here before we continue on with our show or our list of guests. I wanted to just bring up our website quick. Because we want to feature, again, the Sunday performance so this is the pre-jam, the jam before the Jamboree, and it is this coming Sunday, and it's the April 21st, 2024, Courtyard of the Sun Inn in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a free event. We do ask that you register. So there is a click here for registration, just again, so we can plan accordingly. So even if it's free, we do want to ask that you do that. Then these are the artists. So if you want to see the interviews we did with these people, you can click on the link right there for Mustafa or Clover or Galen Deary. And then these are some additional details here. Here's our sponsors. We already heard from the Energy Co-op, Tavern at the Sun Inn, doing an amazing job for us. Here's the organizations that will be tabling, green and mental health organizations. And then we just wanted to mention this. David and I have been collecting news articles. They're very fact-based. They're science-based. They're not political. They're just simply information for you to take in. And if you care to learn more about any of these different topics, or already, have your own, and please share others if you have them. But these are just different ones we kind of came across along the way. But David, excellent job as always on the website. But anything you wanted to share about the news articles, because I know you dove deep into that.
Well, we had a couple that jumped out. One is I put them right at the top of the list because I figured since it would be easy for us to call them out. So the first one is the reference to last year's hottest year. Last year was the record for the hottest year ever on record. And so far, unfortunately, this year we've continued to break that record.
Yeah, I have an image here. This isn't from the article, but this is kind of the point.
Yeah.
First quarter of 2024 was the warmest first quarter on record globally. 2.43 degrees Fahrenheit above the average. And if you remember, a lot of the things you'll read wants to keep it to what? Plus 1.5, and even that's probably
and that's
not
in
great.
Celsius. So I mean, it's
and this is the scary part, the 10th consecutive month where global temperature has set a record.
Yeah.
So like, again, science, math, just is what it is. No need to politicize it. Find the information. But I think the other reason, the other thing that we always talk about, David, is we're always surprised that people even want to have a negotiation about it. So whether you agree, whether it's fact-based or not, there's also just, if any effort of anything ever was to make the air more breathable, the earth more like
water
bountiful,
cleaner,
water drinkable, more drinkable water, I'm in for any of that. So like, I don't need any science or any math or any history or any, story to tell me, any music to tell me to do that. I'm going to go do that one.
Yeah, I like to think of it
every day and twice on Sunday.
I like to think of it this way. I've got kids and I want to leave the place nicer than I found it.
And then there's that one too.
So
think 7 generations down the road.
Precisely. Yeah. They got that one right.
So I think, again, we share this stuff just simply because we think it's important. We're passionate about it. But at the end of the day, let's just do what's right. And what is right now is to bring on one of the best musicians and one of our good friends. Here is Eljuri. Welcome to the show, Eljuri.
Oh my God, it's so great to be here and listen to people speaking about science and facts and numbers. And
isn't it weird?
It's just the situation is urgent. You can see that, the trajectory of what's going on, and just look at the numbers. It's like not about opinions or perspectives or disagreements or polarization.
Yep,
absolutely. It really is just like, we got to get it together. You see what's happening, you feel what's happening. You can't be in denial about that. And so I was really enjoying hearing what reverb.org was talking about too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you
how we can do our part as
you should know more about them. You are certainly on a similar page there. One thing I really admire about you is you don't shy away from any of these important topics. So well, first let's talk about the fact that you shred the guitar. So you are a rock and roller through and through, and you write amazing music.
Thank you very much. It's
but from the beginning, you've always, I found this in the very research for the very first interview we ever did, was where you kind of refer to yourself as an art-ivist.
Yes.
So that activist through art. And I wanted you to kind of share that, because I always want that to be something that we make sure we touch on.
I appreciate that. I truly believe that music and activism are positively intertwined, and I've been influenced by a lot of great musicians that came before me that use like the power of music to unite us, to expand minds, for people to try to listen to each other, and music is a real great unifier. So I've always found there's plenty of messages that I can hopefully impact people, inspire people through song.
Yeah, and the songs are awesome. They're so incredible. So you might find yourself dancing to this song about refugee problems, or you might find yourself bebopping around to a gun violence song. So the music is amazing, but then there's these messages in there, and basically take a deep dive into Eljuri's catalog and certainly enjoy the ride, because it's wonderful music, and it does touch on some very, very important social topics. Obviously, one being the earth, the environmentalism and such.
Yes.
And you have this song. So the other thing is, obviously, we're painting a little bit of a dire picture of what the science is showing us. But your song, the more recent and most famous one you have for this, called Salva la Tierra, is very upbeat, almost hopeful. And I love that about it. And so I kind of wanted to give you a chance to talk about the song before we play it, and then we'll bring you back.
Well, the song is optimistic, and when we recorded it in this great studio upstate, and kind of lived there so we could cohabitate and leave a smaller footprint in the recording process. And Salva la Tierra, we invited for the out chorus. It was the thought of it was I thought of it as an anthem to help us, really unite, to inspire change, because if everybody does their part collectively, it's so powerful. And that also means shining the light on, larger organizations or corporations or governments that shine the light on the issue so they can pay attention, because if they move the dial just a little, they can make such a difference. So
absolutely. Yeah, you do need everybody.
Listen up. Are you with me? That's
right. Yeah. Escuchas. So like but with that, the other thing about this is the recording we have tonight is a live performance from Music Fest as well. Like the one we played one earlier that was also from the festival. And so Salva la Tierra means save the earth, right?
Yes. And it is about like encouraging everybody to do their part, and it's es urgente, muy urgente is really part of the chorus.
Right.
The playing in Bethlehem and doing Music Fest and bringing the song to the people who are like-minded, and those that aren't maybe are inspired to contribute towards change too.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's take a listen to the music, and then when we come back, I want to touch on the other initiative you have coming up.
Cool.
The rest have this year in 24. So take a listen to Salva la Tierra by Eljuri.
Gracias. We have another brand new one. The single just came out a couple of weeks ago, and it's about how urgent it is to control the climate, and how we need to save the earth. I know you guys all believe in that. I can feel it. This is Salva la Tierra.
Son las lecciones de la adversidad para que adoptemos la perspectiva de los demás. Salva la tierra, no se puede esperar. Salva la tierra. ¿Me escuchas? Con tiempo regresamos a un mundo superior. Mañana nos abrazamos, hemos cambiado para mejor. Salva la tierra, no se puede esperar. Salva la tierra, es urgente. Here we go. Salva la tierra, no se puede esperar. Salva la tierra, es urgente, muy urgente. ¿Estás conmigo? Salva la tierra. Save the earth. Salva la tierra. Help us out. Salva la tierra. Salva la tierra. Save the earth, that's all we got. Salva la tierra. Una vez más, aquí vamos. Salva la tierra. Salva la tierra.
Bravo! I heard you. I heard you all singing.
I think you heard me singing back
smiling at the
here.
moment.
So there is Salva la Tierra from Eljuri Music. And what a great performance. Let's give a shout out to the rest of your band there, Alex.
Oh, yeah. Alex and Winston.
And Winston, yeah.
Alex Alexander's my drummer, and Winston Roy, Winnie,
Mhm.
is bass player. And we've been working together for Alex and I go back to 12 years or something.
Sure.
And Winnie like 7 years. So
Mhm. And both highly accomplished, and you guys play so well together. So.
and they really care about the message, you know. They
Mhm.
really, you know, they're in, you know, we're very similar in that way, and so it's important that it makes it more powerful if you're connected like that.
Absolutely, yeah. So before we let you go, I did want to touch on this other initiative you have going on this year, because I think it's important, and it kind of is a offshoot of this topic of environmentalism. So let's let you talk about what it's about, and then we'll kind of tie it back in.
Yes, great. We last year we toured in Europe and we toured in Mexico. So this year we're really focusing on the U.S. with a project that we put together called Eljuri Concerts for Democracy. My name is Eljuri. So Eljuri Concerts for Democracy, amplifying voices for social change, because everybody's got their own voice, and we really want people to use them, because I truly believe representation matters. So, for example, if you are concerned about the environment, the best way to do something about, one of the better ways to do something about that is to vote. So this year, this Concert for Democracy is focusing on the voting process and registration, and so we're doing shows in the U.S. in some key cities and states. Hopefully, coming to Bethlehem, because we miss you guys. We love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we hope that happens too.
It's going to happen in Bethlehem. It feels right.
Yep.
And the idea is then at the concert we'll have a concert to get everybody together, because music does unite us, and then with the power of that, we're gonna have like a workshop afterwards where we're gonna gather people together with voter registration material, questions about voting rights and all that. And it's nonpartisan. It's really about getting people to vote.
That's the most important part. Is this is not about a certain party, a certain initiative, a certain concept. It's just purely about empowerment.
Yes.
Of your voice. Like, you have this chance to be heard. And so to register to vote, but then the other part is, don't get caught in the cult of personality, the politics of social media and whatnot. Get to know the real important topics, whatever's important to you. And we're not even saying it should be environmentalism. We're just saying that's ours today because it's Earth Day and we want to take care of the planet. But whatever your important topics are, learn about them, and then learn which candidates would be the best one for you. That's really all this initiative is about, is a nonpartisan, get out and vote, rock the vote type thing. But not about any one particular candidate or one particular kind of topic.
No, use your voice, empower yourself. Don't be apathetic about that, because representation really truly matters. And we have great news, and this is the first time we're actually speaking out about it. It's
Love it. Breaking news.
That we have. I am officially an ambassador with Head Count, and they're a voting organization. They're gonna come to our shows, and they're gonna have a table, and they're going to have all their information both in English and Spanish.
Excellent.
And we're thrilled that they're
absolutely. Congratulations.
We just found out, Phil, this week.
Great. That's great news.
That is great news. Well, Ambassador Eljuri, thank you for coming on our show. There you go. And can't wait to see you perform live and just simply connect. It's been too long.
Have a great event Sunday. It's Sunday, right? Or Saturday?
Yes, it's this coming Sunday.
Sunday. Yep. No Planet B Jamboree, right?
Yes, that's exactly
right. It's going to rock. You do great work and really, really elevate these important messages for artists like me. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're an inspiring aspect to that. So thank you for all you do.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eljuri. So, David.
Philip.
While we're on the topic of representation and politics, we were able to have received, again, truly honored for this one, our local representative to Congress, the 7th District of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Fighting 7th.
So that's exactly right. We're the Fighting 7th. Representative Susan Wild has been aware of our events. She's put through legislation that is both for mental health and for environmental topics. And she sent us a message. So it was a voice recording. So we set it to a picture of her. And so let's take a listen to Congresswoman Susan Wild.
Hi there, everybody. This is Susan Wild, and I first have to just say it's such an honor for me to represent the greater Lehigh Valley in Congress. I am truly proud of our area. I heard about the Listen to Dissonance event that was held recently, and I just wanted to thank Philip Reese, your gracious podcast host, who invited me on today, and to everyone listening for your work to bring more light to mental health and suicide prevention. These are really important topics for me and something I work a lot on here in Congress. With levels of mental health challenges and suicide on the rise in our country and around the world, it's so important that we continue to have these challenging conversations. And I believe that all of us have a critical role to play in making suicide prevention a national priority in the face of a deeply alarming epidemic. Young people are especially at risk for these mental health issues and deserve access to more resources and opportunities to overcome the challenges that they face in schools, at home, or wherever they might be struggling. In September, I reintroduced a bipartisan bill. It's called the Enhancing Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Through Campus Planning Act to promote mental health and suicide prevention resources at colleges and other institutions of higher education. And I plan to keep working with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to find solutions to the mental health epidemic that all Americans are facing. And I have to tell you, as a former amateur beekeeper, organic gardener, and a lifelong animal rights advocate, I was so excited to hear about your upcoming No Planet B Jamboree. There are few issues closer to my heart than protecting our planet and all of the wildlife who live on it. And I often say I wanted to run for Congress, not so much for my generation, but for the next generations to come, my children, grandchildren, and everybody else's, because there is no Planet B, as you say. Our natural resources deserve to be treasured and protected for generations to come. Unfortunately, we know that the devastating impacts of climate change can be seen every single day, including in Pennsylvania, as well as throughout our country and all across the globe. We have to have real-world solutions to a problem that affects all of us. Lowering our carbon emissions and cracking down on corporations that break the rules is a piece of the puzzle, but it's only a small piece. There is so much more that needs to be done. But I'm proud to say that the Lehigh Valley is home to some incredible advocates who are committed to protecting our climate while also growing our economy and adding jobs to our workforce. At the end of the day, I want my children and their children and your children and grandchildren to be able to enjoy the same outdoor spaces that I have, that we have, that in such plentiful number in the Lehigh Valley. And I want everybody to be able to enjoy them as our parents and grandparents were able to. Thank you again for letting me join you virtually today, and I'm so eager to hear from more of you. If any of you would like to hear more about the work that I've done for Pennsylvania, or have a problem that you would like my help in solving with a federal agency or otherwise, please go to our House website, which is wild.house.gov. You can get in touch with us there. I promise you, we read all of the emails that come in that way. And while you're there, please sign up for our weekly newsletter, very cleverly named Wild Week in Review. There is a pop-up on our website. You can sign up there, and every Friday afternoon, you will get what we call a snack size news.
So there is Rep. Susan Wild. Thank you so much for that message. And doing great work.
Yeah, doing great work. Her advocacy for mental health is really, really fantastic.
Yeah, it's admirable, and she's often she mentioned it in there. But if you look into the actual stats, it is very much a bipartisan, across the aisle type legislation. She's very much somebody who's trying to kind of work this as an American, not as any one given party. So once again, applaud the nonpartisan efforts. So I wanted to share another piece of music here. This one is hard to like describe because it's a piece of art. The element to this is that well, why don't we hold off? What we'll do is we'll bring on our guest because I want to kind of stay on time for her too. But what I'll do here is share some music from the next guest we have here. Her name is Hila the Earth, and she is doing some great things. In fact, I even heard she might be running for president, so kind of political as well. But this is an amazing eco rapper. That is kind of becoming a multi-platform sensation out there. And here is her song, Dirty Talk by Hila the Earth.
You want the dirt? I give you the dirt. I am the dirt that you live on the earth. You want it dirty? I give you the word. I gave you the world. I make it work. I make it work. Work. I got the worms working under my skirt. I'm what you live on. I'm what it's worth. I am the earth. I give you the dirt. Dirty talk, get on the ground. My body's so porous, my body's so round. Wanna talk dirty, I'll give you the sound. Give me the roots, I'll give you the mound. Feed me your feces, we need to hustle. Clean up my beaches, show me your muscles. I'll give you crabs, I'll give you turtles. Build me up, baby, I'm filled and I'm fertile. Dirty talk. You want the dirt? Feeling the clay and the sand up my shirt? Slip in my silk, I'll give you a squirt. You wanna eat it? You need my dirt. Potassium, nitrogen, enzymes, vitamins. Spread your seeds, I invite them in. Giving you what you need time and time again. I got minerals, fungi, H2O, bacteria, carbon, nematodes. If you wanna grow, you gotta get a hoe. Go work the land, that's a hand job, bro. Throw your organics all over my body. I make it hot, you're welcome to watch me. I break it down, I mix it all up. And then when I'm done, you can grow some new stuff. Licking up that plant sweat, I'm sequestering that carbon. I come alive when you get me wet, there's an orgy in your garden. I like variety, so stop that monocropping. Lift up that concrete and watch my flowers popping. The dirt that I've been turning is the cycle, death and birth. And I'm trying to get turned, cause I'm dirty, I'm the earth. You want the dirt? I'll give you the dirt. I am the dirt that you live on the earth. You want it dirty? I give you the word. I gave you the world. I make it work. I make it work. I got the worms working under my skirt. I'm what you live on. I'm what it's worth. I am the earth. I give you the dirt.
Incredible. Hard to top that one. Welcome to the show, Hila the Earth.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for joining us.
Fantastic. That's a showstopper right there.
Thanks.
And wonderful work you're doing there. I mean, there's more tracks out there. People need to go check out the YouTube channel, follow you. Basically, it was a TikTok sensation, wasn't it? There was Wet Ass Planet was pretty much what put you on the map, didn't it?
Wet Ass Planet and that song Dirty Talk both have viral videos out there.
Oh my God, it's so wonderful. But yeah, tell us more about your kind of bio here. Like it's a like we said, multi-platform, multi everything. Like you're really quite an artist.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have been making music about the earth for the last 6 years, maybe even 7 years. Originally, I was doing it with Nathan Dufour under the band name Nate and Hila. And we started in 2017 with the song called I Am Plastic Man, which sort of like dissects and scientifically explains what plastic is and how harmful it is. And my verse in that song like includes a sort of call to action, solution, refill, reuse, breakdown. And that was the first eco rap that we made. After that, we had like a bring your own cup song and then a humanure song.
That's what we're encouraging for the Jamboree on Sunday is people bring a reusable cup. So that's a good one to point out there.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great thing to encourage at a festival or party. Yep. But yeah, basically I've been building a big catalog of informational musical experiences to get people educated and excited about the ways in which the earth provides us life and how we can be more sustainable and really regenerate and heal the earth and ourselves.
Yeah. And who was the earthworm saying dirt the whole time? It made me laugh every time.
Oh, that's Nate. Yeah. So that song. Yeah.
The production value is amazing. I mean, I just think even song aside, even the video itself is like, wow, that must have taken such effort on your part, and it's so great.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Nate and I made that video together and that song.
Mhm.
So that song is on our album called Naughty for Nature, and it's a whole like eco sex education
Right.
album.
Yeah, there's an aspect to where you're teaching things about animals, right? Like, and then also the planet and the Earth stuff, and it's just really great. And then the Instagram profile, and I guess it's probably similar to what you have out there. Is like there's all these fun things that you do. Another one was that you recently announced a run for president. That was not a joke of mine. Like, wasn't there one of the posts you did where you were like, "Vote for the Earth"?
My President Earth blazer.
That's right.
Yes,
that's what I was.
It's official.
We're voting for the Earth 2024. I wish it could be a real campaign, honestly,
Right.
but I'm not quite old enough to officially run for president.
Right.
However, I do plan to like put out some more content around what I would like to see a presidential candidate discuss and talk about, and like
You can be
when
in the
it comes to
cabinet.
solutions. I could maybe be in the cabinet. We'll see
There
what
you go.
happens.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
We need
maybe-
Earth. We definitely need Earth in the government
Yeah.
space.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And speaking to that, prior topic is like, if that's an important topic for you, learn about your candidates and vote for those. It's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I would love to get people more involved in their government because it feels like, that's part of the building the community and taking control over our commons and the land and kind of like taking it back and really healing it. And that I feel like will only happen when enough of like us are involved in government. If that's even like, unless it's totally rigged and then there's actually no access. But if we can get elected and, reverse harmful developments or restore wildlife or, do remediation and cleanup projects, then we can really begin to like do all the heavy lifting work that we have to do basically to restore our ecosystems.
Sure. Yeah. So the inspiration, it isn't always earth-based, like, but you get these really great ideas that are, they're towing the line between comedy, but also serious. Like you have this wonderful, brilliant way to kind of take something to make you laugh at it, but also understand you're kind of making a very important point.
Well, as I've been saying, I'm very hot and I'm only getting hotter. So
As the Earth is.
That's definitely part of it. I want people to worship the Earth. And I think that comedy and music is a great way to, just make people fall in love with you as a performer and also create ease, create joy. I think that, life on Earth is worth living and we should be celebrating every moment that we get to be alive and honor the Earth while we do it. So for me, it's really important to stay positive, to stay light-spirited, to stay joyful, because it is truly a serious and difficult task ahead of us. And we have many challenges and things are happening right now that are setting us back. And, just stopping the destruction and then doing all the work necessary to heal is going to take a lot. So I'm hoping to be a part of the healing process that involves joy, laughter, and music, for sure.
Yeah. And so some of the songs that you've worked on, it's your lyrics, but it's kind of like based on, another more famous track, like we talked about, Wet Ass Planet.
Yeah.
People can tell what
My
song
parodies.
Yeah, right. So has any of those performers ever reached out or are you aware of anybody ever catching any of it?
Not yet. I'm hoping to re-release my 50 Cent remix of In the Club on the Land.
Nice.
And hopefully I can make that go viral and then 50 Cent will see it because I really don't know what he's going to think. But it's kind of an incredible process because I'll take their verses and I'll try to keep it as close to the way that they actually flow and their cadence and like the amount of syllables that they are performing in their
It's not
verses.
easy what you're doing.
I just changed the words. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But it still has to,
So
like you
yeah,
said, it still has to be the same syllable base. It still has to rhyme. Like it still has to be, and it has to be clever. Like it has to. It's
right.
not an easy task. So, and it has to be funny. It has to make people laugh. So,
It's a
but
puzzle.
yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
fun puzzle
It
though.
sure is. Yeah. But so you're getting also like more involved in festivals. You just did one this past weekend, right? In either Brooklyn or New York somewhere.
Yes, I was at Union Square at the Earth Day Initiative Festival. It's actually my third year doing that,
Oh,
and
great.
yeah, they basically invite a ton of booths, vendors, orgs, youth organizations, all these people in the city to like table and connect with. It's a public free event at Union Square, and it was really funny. The first year, I like showed up with my little busking speaker, just being like, "Hey, just let me perform here. These are my people." And then I show up there, and they had already put up like a massive stage, and they had like all these sound equipment, and they weren't using the stage for anything except for screening panels. So I was just like, "Can I just do my performance on the stage?" And they're like, "Yeah." And
Oh, that's.
now and now like
How do you say no to the
3 years
Earth?
later, I know, right? I was like, "Oh my god, great."
Right.
And then now 3 years later, I brought like my dancers, a DJ, and we
I know
put on
that's
like a
this.
whole show.
I was watching it on Instagram. Like there was all these awesome clips of you with dancers, and you dressed up as a carrot at one point. Is that new music that's coming out down the road?
Yes, the Carrot song is going to be coming out very shortly, probably in the next few weeks.
Can't wait for that. And what I loved about it the most was you had kids. Like you were reaching an audience of people who were into it because like it resonated with them. And so this was a way to kind of get into their mind share on important topics. I thought it was a very cool thing.
Thank you. Yeah, the kids are the best part of my shows when they're there and they want to participate and get into the costumes and dance with me. I like asking them what they like about the vegetable that they're embodying. Their answers are so cute. Like, one kid yesterday was like, or on Sunday was like, I was like, "Why do you like or what do you like about tomatoes?" And they're like, "They have seeds." And I was like, "Yeah,
that's a really good
that's
answer.
A great reason. That's a great answer."
Oh, that's awesome. But so what else can we help promote? What else you got coming up the rest of this summer?
Well,
the Carrot song, we've got that to look forward to.
Yes, definitely my Spotify, Apple Music, streaming. Like I'm really focused right now on creating new music and putting it out there, and I'm trying to get my streaming numbers up. So like I'd love for like my Instagram followers to just listen to me on Spotify, but I'm also just releasing new music.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm performing. I have a few performances this is going to be on Earth Day, right? So
well, tonight we're live. Like this is live.
Oh, right, this is live.
But it'll be out there for like on demand. So like people might tune in later this week or in May or whatever. So yeah, whatever you can.
So yeah, in New York City on the 21st, I'm going to be at House of Yes's Earth Love Fest, and I'm doing a performance there at 2 p.m. And I'm maybe going to perform for the first time a new single that is not released yet, and so that's exciting. So there's basically
exciting.
The main thing is that there's new music coming. So definitely just like tune in and watch out for that and be ready to listen to it and share it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jump on the train. People are loving Hila the Earth. So subscribe and follow and all you can for that. And once you are 35 years old, we'll start voting you for president.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, Earth.
Thank you for having me. Happy Earth Day.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. David.
Philip, the guests keep just getting better.
Right. So you started with energy providing, then you had, people who were making music better. Then we had Eljuri, we had a recording message from a representative of Congress, and then the planet Earth. Like, what's next?
Ladies and gentlemen. No, just kidding.
But so let me get back to what I was sharing before. I came across this piece of art, and I really found it to be quite touching, and it does maybe spin us a little bit back to the more dire messaging of things. And so there's a gentleman who's a very, very interesting musician, and by interesting I mean in a very cool way. He produces these. Basically, the piece is 42 minutes long. And it's not to, you can listen to the album like on Spotify, but it's more important that you go to YouTube and watch it because it has a video component. So this is a perfect place to share it. It was hard to pick like it does have movements to it. It's not really songs or tracks. But so I kind of clipped out what I felt was like the best kind of shortest section you could share that would make any sense. But basically, the piece is called Almanac Behind. And his name is Daniel Bachman. And what I didn't know until I looked into it a little bit is that's actually an anagram. Like it's his name mixed up as Almanac Behind. Oh. He's from Virginia. And he was he's very obviously, passionate about the earth to start. But he was very impacted by this last year. They had those massive floods. And so in his area, they were very, very impacted by the rain, the storms that just kind of came in and stopped and dumped rain for hours. And so like, this piece is about that. So each piece is kind of like named after the different moments or the different news breaks or whatever. It's set to some of the things that were on television or what have you. So again, just take a moment to kind of take this in. And my hope is that you want to go and watch and listen to the whole piece. But this is a little selection from the piece Almanac Behind by Daniel Bachman.
This is the Hila Weather Radio All-Hazard Station KHP-36, broadcasting from the National Weather Service Office in Sterling, Virginia, and transmitting on a frequency of 162.550 megahertz from an antenna located in Manassas, Virginia. The National Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a flash flood warning for Madison County in northwestern Virginia until 12:15 a.m. At 9:17 p.m., the Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 2 and 4 inches of rain have fallen. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Hazard, life-threatening flash flooding.
So that is music and images from Daniel Bachman. The full piece is called Almanac Behind. Those were the movements of Gust Front, 540 Supercell, and then 10:17 p.m. KHB 36. Again, like I said, it's kind of just all one continuous piece with those kind of different movements to it. But I found it to be so moving. Like it's just, if you're listening to the podcast, certainly implore you to kind of go check this out. Yeah. Because the images are harrowing. Like you're probably wondering, what am I even listening to? And it's powerful stuff. This was not a hurricane. This was not a storm that was predicted to be that bad. It just happened. And so that's probably the scary part.
Yeah, I mean, that's the exact thing. Is it wasn't this is inbound, prepare. It literally was rain that turned into this terrible stalled weather front.
Right. And flooded places that just was a very, very difficult time for the people down there in Virginia to recover from. And so it just spoke to him in a way that was like, this is what people have been talking about. So let's make a piece about it. And just found it to be very, very, very moving. And so he was very gracious to let us use it. He was not able to join tonight. Otherwise he would have. But he's very involved. It seems like he's most active on Twitter. If you give him a follow there or check out just what his posts are about, it's also very helpful to kind of know what's going on. But then he is also he just released a new music about wildfires last week. So he is also producing more and more music as well. So very, very admirable and busy gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you to Daniel Bachman for that. So we have one more song to share. But before we do that, let's also just recap the event again. Sunday is the day. April 21st is the date. Pennsylvania is the state that we will be in. Bethlehem, more specifically in the courtyard of the Sun Inn. It's called the No Planet B Jamboree. It's a free event. It's our second annual event. And this year, we're going to certainly let the music kind of be the center stage of this whole thing. So we are going to have, things will kick off with, as we mentioned earlier, we have a special treat that was a more recent addition. Delwyn Elk Bear Fiddler will provide us with a blessing of Native American song and dance to kick things off. Probably around 2:10, 2:15. 2:30, Galen Deary and The Reason Why will hit the stage, followed by Clover, and then Mustafa Numbisi will close things out. An incredible lineup of up-and-coming artists. We have had the pleasure and honor of interviewing each one of them in different ways. Some very recently. Mustafa was last week. Clover was back in November. Galen was during Music Fest last August. So we have links on our page to those interviews if you want to learn more about them. We'll repost them this week over the next couple days in case you want to check that out. But their music is incredible. Their live performance is even more so. So you're not going to want to miss this. And then in between, we have the tabling organizations. You'll be able to talk with any of these 6 tables, or we also have the Energy Co-op, our sponsor for the event, along with the Tavern at the Sun Inn, which is where the venue is, and they'll be providing, the food truck will be there for purchase of food or drink, and there's going to be a bar available. So a wonderful day to be had for all of us. And we know that there's no rain, so the universe is shining upon us for a second year in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good time, and that in itself is a reason to go. You know, let alone the fact that it's there to support and educate yourself for an excellent reason.
Yes.
So, and you might get some information from one of these organizations or from multiple one of these organizations that could open your eyes to something or give you a reason to sign up for something new.
Absolutely. So yeah, thank you to all the artists for being a part of it. It's been a wonderful ride to bring this all together, and it seems like it's really, I think it's going to be a special day. So hope you join us, and if you're too far away to join us, we typically record and release some highlights down the road, and so be on the lookout for that. So one last song. This is an artist who is Australian. And here's what is fascinating to me about the music industry. She recently toured. She actually might even still be in the middle of it. I think it was the month of April into May. 25 dates, all sold out. And I think they even added some, so I think it even went up in number. She sells out Australia everywhere she goes. Not as well known here, but definitely people do know of her. And when we heard her music, first of all, it's excellent. But then she has this song that is almost, it's to call it sarcastic is not the right phrase, but it's called How Was I to Know? And it's basically saying, how was I to know that I was ruining the planet when I did all these really horrible things? So anyway, the lyrics are brilliant. The song is amazing. And I hope you check out more music by Missy Higgins. And we super appreciate you all tuning in tonight. If you are going to be checking out the No Planet B Jamboree on Sunday, please let us know. And also register. If you don't mind, go to our webpage if you want to learn more about it and learn about the organizations or the performers, but also click on that register button. Let us know you're going to be there. And we can't wait to see you. David, anything else we didn't cover?
Just make sure nextfaveband.com. Go there, get the details, sign up, register, and we'll see you Sunday.
Absolutely. So here is what's going to close us out, and it is How Was I to Know? Missy Higgins.
When the order came to dig the well, to crack the earth, to pull the oil, to take the blood out from my mother's veins. Well, I broke the ground to feed my mouth. I did not hear the warning bell. I could not put back in what I took out. How was I to know? How was I to know? I'd be a stepping stone to the end of everything. How was I to know? On the day I built a house so high, its antenna did scrape the sky. Well, everyone applauded in my shadow. So my neighbor built a higher one, and again his neighbor after him. Too soon racing the clouds was all that mattered. Up and up the buildings went, glass and stone and hard cement, till all the green was left to die below. How was I to know? How was I to know? I'd be a stepping stone to the end of everything. The end of everything. How was I to know? Long ago I caught a pretty fish, blue and silver and delicious, and I knew she'd line my pockets green. So I bought a bigger boat that had a net to trail the ocean, and I fished until one day that net was empty. How was I to know? How was I to know? I'd be that place safe and be found, or is it lost forever? How was I to know?
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
Pre-jam episode of Your Next Favorite Band. We'd like to sincerely thank everybody who was on today, including Divya Desai of the Energy Co-op, Paige Roth of Reverb.org, Eljuri, Hila the Earth, as well as Representative Susan Wild, the Slambovian Circus of Dreams, Easy Honey, Daniel Bachman, and Missy Higgins. We would also ask you all to consider joining us Sunday, April the 21st at 2 p.m. in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania at the Courtyard of the Sun Inn for our free No Planet B Jamboree. There's going to be excellent music and all the tables. You heard all about that earlier today. You can go to nextfaveband.com to learn all about it. And also check out all of these different people who were on the show today, including also the three performers on Sunday. Please check out their music, check out their socials, subscribe to them. You're going to love it. That's what this whole show is about. We go and try and find the different bands that you're going to love, and then also maybe also some of these other people who are organizations that you're going to love as well. The ability to tap into what they have, especially in this environmental, sustainable, and renewable way. We also have some amazing guests that are lined up for future episodes. We are heading into festival season here. Right around the corner, we're going to get some of the announcements for the Levitt stages, Music Fest, anything that's coming around to all these different cities that we are all can't wait for these different opportunities to see different people. And I hope to see you at those live shows this summer.